Hello, everybody. Milton Davis here, and it is June, and I am going live for a little while just to give you guys a June update. Let you know what's going on, what's happening in the next few weeks, a little bit about what will be happening next week, next month, and I'm going to try to talk a little slowly because usually I get a little excited and I start talking real fast and I forget to tell you things that I want to tell you. So we're going to pace ourselves a little bit. The first thing I like to talk about is, of course, the Chang Safari, or should I say, the Chang and the Jade Obelisk number 1 through 3 Kickstarter. Um, Thank you. That's the first thing to say is thank you. We had a goal of $2,500. We hit that goal in 1 week, actually. Became a projects we love for Kickstarter, and we're still growing. Right now I've got the screen behind me. Right now we're at $5,110, and we have 6 days to go. We have 155 backers. Thank you guys very much. We would love to hit 6,000 before it's all said and done. We've got 6 days to do it. I think we can do it, and I hope you guys will help support us to do that. Um, this is the third book in the series of Chang and the Jade Obelisk. You're familiar with the first two books, and we can now say that we are an award-winning slash award-nominated comic book series. Um, where you at? Chang Safari Book 1 actually won the Glyph Award for Best Comic Story when it was released. And we found out this year that Chang Safari Issue 2 has made the short list for Best Comic Team for Fire's Ignite Award. So we've got one book that's won an award. We've got one book that's nominated for an award. So it's just an example of the great job that our team has been doing on this comic book series. Robert Jeffrey has done a great job with the writing. Matteo Illuminati has done an outstanding job with the artwork. He's created a signature style for this whole comic book series. Jason Reeves has been doing a great job in the background, managing everything and making sure we hit all our numbers and we hit all our points on this. And so it's been a great process. We've got a few more books left in the series. You know, it's my dream that we can do a comic book series based on the entire Changa Safari series. I mean, from book 1 all the way to book 4. That would be a great thing to do if you guys continue to support us, continue to support our Kickstarters, continue to tell people, spread the word about the comic book, and not only purchase it during the Kickstarter, but tell people out beyond that. Tell your local comic book stores about it and who to get it from, so we can make sure that this book is accessible to everybody and that they can enjoy this storytelling, this great artwork, and everything else that's going on. It would be greatly appreciated. I am going to put the link to the Kickstarter. Give me a minute here to copy this thing and paste it. I'm going to put it here in the comments, so you can pledge if you haven't pledged as of yet, or if you have pledged, you can share it with your friends and your family, anyone that you think would be interested in a action adventure, 15th century sword and soul tale. This is the start. This is the thing for them. I think they will love it. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about. For some odd reason, everything seems to be coming together at this one point, and it's basically involving Kickstarters. We are almost finished with the Angolo Diaspora Issue 2 comic book. If you're not familiar with it, this is issue 1. Angolo Diaspora is actually a near future African martial arts action comic book. It's based on a script, the award-winning script that Balogun Ojetade and I wrote a few years ago. We entered into the contest for the Urban Action Showcase Best Script, and we won. And we've been sitting around with it for a while. Finally decided to go ahead and make a comic book out of it. And we did a Kickstarter to do the first issue. It went well. And we did a Kickstarter to do the second issue. And we're getting that going now. So we're almost complete with that. We should have it done soon. If you pledged to this Kickstarter, You should be receiving your surveys pretty soon. Please make sure you fill them out, because that gives us a way to get in contact with you to make sure that you get your awards, that you get your comic books, that you get your novels, that you get anything that was related to that Kickstarter. So when you get that, fill it out, send it back to us. And that way, when we get the inventory in and we can start shipping things out to you, you'll get it as soon as possible. Once again, thank you for supporting this Kickstarter as well. This is unique this is a unique comic book. You don't find many things talking about African martial arts, and you don't really find about it talking about African martial arts when we're talking about true African martial arts. It was amazing that we were able to work with Balagoon, who is an African martial arts expert, and he was able to bring his knowledge and his expertise to this book. And the fact that we're also working with Peter Daniel of Peta Entertainment, based out of Lagos, Nigeria. To be able to bring this group of talented people together and work on this project has been really fun. And of course, we got a few more comic books ahead to finish the story. But hey, again, if you pledged for an Ngolo Diaspora 2, we should have the comic books soon, and you will be receiving yours soon. Now, the third Kickstarter I like to talk about, you probably see already. See it here, right here. See in my hat. See in my T-shirt. Is Playing the Odds. Playing the Odds is an animated series based on my novella Playing the Odds. The story behind it, briefly, is that after I wrote this novel, I said, hey, this sounds like something that would make a really good animation. So I got in contact with the folks that I knew, the people that I knew that could make it happen. Mark Vision Barnes doing the animation, Paula Wilson doing the sound, Otis Galloway doing the music, Balogun Ojitade to help with the script, Scott Washington to help make 3D models, DeGradier Daniel, who's another person that has technical expertise, Brandon Davis, my son, is working on animation as well, and also with Dedrin Sneed and Keisha Stovall to work on our marketing once we got everything in place. And we all came together to make this thing happen. We did a Kickstarter that was successful, and it took us a little longer than we thought. We were supposed to have this ready by January. We ran into all kind of obstacles. We had software crash on us. We had styles that had glitches and everything. Mark was very persistent, had to go back in some cases and start all over again with the animation. But I'm very happy to say that we finally reached an endpoint with the animation. It's done. It's complete. Right now, as we speak, Paula is working on the sound effects, working on the sound to get up to level. Both Mark and Paula are wizards at what they do. Both of them are people who deserve more recognition than they get right now, and for their expertise. And I'm really looking forward to you guys seeing this animation, so you can see what they can do, see their talent. Otis Galloway did an amazing soundtrack. So yeah, we got original music going on with this thing, and everything is just great. But it's only the beginning. We want to work on an episode 2, but being quite honest, animation is expensive, and we're going to have to do some things to get to that next level. One of the things that we'll have to do is that we'll have to raise the money. So the animation will be available to the people who pledge to the Kickstarter first. They will get it. They get a grace period. They get a chance to see it. They get a chance to see what their money created and what they invested in. Once that grace period is complete, we will share with everybody, and we want you to share with everybody. We also are going to have some different avenues set up in order for you guys to, if you like what you see and you want to see episode 2, different ways for you to contribute to us. We're looking at doing some particular fundraisers. We're also going to be selling merchandise. Like if you buy a Playing the Odds hat, you buy a Playing the Odds t-shirt, if you buy the Playing the Odds novella, the profits for all of those will go toward us being able to make the next episode. And so, like I said, when you see this and when you love it, I know you will want to support it and help us get to that next level, do that next animation series. And like I said, if you read the book, you know where this is going to go. You know what it's all about. You know it's going to be a fun ride. If you haven't read the book, get the book, check it out. You'll see what we're talking about. And if you pledged, hey, the animation's coming pretty soon, and so you get a chance to see it. One more thing I like to talk about is this weekend. This weekend I will be participating in Subsume's Creative Juneteenth. That's going to take place on the 17th on Saturday and the 18th on Sunday. On the 17th, there will be a number of virtual panels. I will be doing a panel with Balogun Ojitade, Jessica Cage, and Dedrin Sneed, where we will be talking about the state of black science fiction. We actually launched this State of Black Science Fiction series in 2012. Last year, it was 10 years. And we did actually a 10-year celebration of it at the first place where we did the panel, which was at Georgia Tech. We did that in combination with talking about our anthology Terminus 2. Actually, we will be also, so we're actually been going back and looking at, really looking at the state of black science fiction. How are things now compared to how things were then? What has changed? What hasn't changed? What do we see happening with black science fiction, black speculative fiction, Afrofuturism? How do we see that progressing in the next 10 years? So it's going to be a really interesting discussion with some amazing people. So you're going to want to check that out. Now on Sunday, which just happens to be Father's Day, we will be doing a speculative fiction book fair. Myself, Jessica Cage, Keith Cross, other vendors as well. We will be there with our wares. You can come on through, come check out some Amo piano music with us, pick up a book, pick up something. You can pick up something for yourself. It'd be perfect. I tell you, this would be the best scenario right here. You just get your father, bring him down to our book fair, and then let him pick out a book. Let him pick out his Father's Day gift right there. And it's going to be some good books there. You're familiar with my books. You're familiar with Jessica's books. You're familiar with what Keith Cross has done. So hey, come check us out on that Sunday and support black speculative fiction. So I think that's about all I have to talk about at the time. Oh yeah, one more thing. As you know, I had the privilege to publish an anthology that was curated by Eugene Bacon. And if you've been doing anything with black speculative fiction this year, you are familiar with Eugene Bacon. Eugene is a powerhouse. She's very prolific, amazing style of writing. She's been letting out books like crazy. And I was really happy to get the opportunity to publish this book. This is the book right here. It's called Languages of Water. The book will be officially released in September 1st. And what Eugene was able to do was get authors from around the world, from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, and had them all write stories and discuss the issue of water and how it affects different cultures. Not only does the book have stories from different continents, it also has stories in different languages as well. So, and it also has illustrations. So it's a very unique anthology about what it talks about and how it talks about it. So this weekend at Creative Juneteenth on the 18th, I will have copies of Languages of Water available. You can't get this right now online. You can pre-order it directly from me, but this will be an opportunity for you to buy the book today. Buy it before the release in September 1st, and we will be doing that at Creative Juneteenth on the 18th this Sunday. I think that's about it. That's about everything I have to share. Hey Rob, how you doing? Thank you very much, man. It's been a journey, and it continues to be a journey, and it's worthwhile, and I appreciate it because of all the support that we've been getting from everybody over the years. I also celebrated 15 years of doing this publishing and writing thing in May. It's been a long journey, but it's been an exciting journey, and it's been a fun journey, to be able to create and share stories with everyone, and to be able to interact with people who have read the stories with other authors, and to be all part of this journey that we've been doing in this whole, and being part of the growth and expansion of black speculative fiction. Hey Cerise, how you doing? Another thing, oh yeah, I forgot one thing. I keep forgetting stuff. See, I said I'm going to write a list, so I'll make sure I follow everything. But I keep forgetting something. We are in the process of accepting stories, sending out acceptance letters for stories for Space Funk. Um, so by the end of this week, all the authors will know if they've been accepted to the anthology, and then the process will get started at actually creating an anthology. Now, I'm going to tell you guys first, so you'll know what's coming down, what's going to be going down. We are planning on doing a Kickstarter for this anthology. I've never done a Kickstarter for any of my books before, any of my paperback book novels. I've done it for comic books, but I've never done it for any of my books. The reason that I'm going to be doing it is because we want to be able to pay our authors at a level where the book will be acceptable for some awards that come along with books like this. And the best way for us to do that is to be able to raise funds through a Kickstarter. Those details will come out later, and I'll let you guys know what's going on later, but I just want to give you a heads up of what's going to be happening, and so you can be prepared for it. Sharice is asking me, will we release a table of contents? Yes, we will. We will release a table of contents of the stories and the authors as soon as everyone is notified, and we're ready to take that next step. You will get a chance to see who's going to be in the anthology and the stories that they wrote. And there's some great authors in here. Some great authors. The authors that will be, some of the authors will be the first time that I've had the opportunity to publish them in a funk anthology. Some of them are brand new authors that I just recently met. Some of them I just recently published in some of my more recent anthologies. And that's one of the beauties about this, about the funk anthologies, is that not only do we get veteran authors, we also get brand new authors. You know, people sometimes the stories that we've published in the funk anthologies are the first stories that some of the authors have ever published before. But they're great. I mean, they're great stories, and that's the only requirement that we really have, is that we get great stories and that we publish great stories, and it has worked out for us. Um, so Sharice has another question. How many submissions did you get? This actually was the most popular anthology that we've done. I'll be totally honest. With our early anthologies, it was a chore trying to get enough stories for us to be able to produce an anthology. But over the years, the funk anthologies have been received very well. And so for this one, we got over 40 submissions. So it was the most we ever received before, and it was, and this was probably the toughest anthology to pick stories for, because there were so many great stories. And so I would say to anyone that whose story did not get selected, it wasn't because your story wasn't great. It was because we had so many. And you know, that's one of the toughest parts of being a person that has to select stories for an anthology, is being able to choose from all these great stories that you get, which ones you're gonna publish. You know, as a matter of fact, one of the reasons that we did the Space Funk anthology was because we received stories for the Cyberpunk anthology that were really great stories, but they didn't fit the cyberpunk theme. And it was from reading those stories that I got the idea of saying, hey, you know what? There's a lot of people that really want to tell some space stories. And so let's do this anthology and give people the opportunity to tell space stories, like they say, Sun Ra said, space is the place. And apparently a lot of people want to be in that place. And so that's why we got this anthology. And like I said, you're going to have some great stories, a wide range of stories like you always see in our funk anthologies. We have some stories that actually, play on the fact that this is a funk anthology. But then we have other stories that are taking things to a great level and stuff, to another level as far as interpretation and stuff. So again, it's going to be a fun book. Just like that's the main thing that I look at for all the funk anthologies, that I want them to be fun. I want people to be able to enjoy the stories. You're going to have stories that are going to be funny. You're going to have stories that are going to be serious. You're going to have all different kinds of stories. We even got poetry in this book. This is the first time we've ever done poetry in a funk anthology, and we got some great poems and stuff. So again, I'm looking forward to, for you guys to see this anthology. Looking forward to be complete. I'm not sure if it's going to be out before the end of this year. It all depends on how everything goes and the process it takes us to set everything up. But yeah, that's another one of the things that's going on this year. Um, got events going on throughout the year. I'm going to be in Baton Rouge the first weekend of August doing the Mid City Microcon. Next month, I'm going to be at the Urban Nerd Con. In the end of September, end of August, early September, I will be doing Dragon Con. And in October, I will be co guest of honor at Multiverse. So got a lot of things going on this year. Got a lot of things going on this month. So that's it. I've kind of overstayed my welcome here. So yeah, so get ready for things. You'll see us, like I said, come out this weekend. Come check us out at the look at me forgetting stuff at the creative at the creative Juneteenth. We have plenty of books there. And then after that, my next event will actually be in Baton Rouge at Mid City Microcon. But hey, that's it. You guys take care. See you soon. Peace.